Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com and welcome to this week's episode of The Dog Pound. I'm Sydney, like I said. This week's wallpaper is brought to you by Mitch A. Box. He suggested I use an Uncharted wallpaper, so I went with that. Uncharted, probably one of the best video games of all time, although I still think Tomb Raider was better, but I'm kind of partial. If you have a suggestion for wallpaper, leave it as a comment below, and I may use it in next week's show. But let's get started with the comments. Here's a comment from Droidaman. This person said, "Do you have a life? What do you think?" Yeah, I don't even have to answer that one, okay? I spend my Mondays reading YouTube comments and making a video where I fulfill my need to defend myself against YouTube commenters. Yeah. The next comment is from Lothurius. They said, "Sydney is actually a CIA operative. She was on a mission last week in outer Tajikistan." This person has since been killed. Accidentally. Died. Accidental death. By electrocution. From a toaster. Stuck their fork in it. You know you're not supposed to do that. And I only know about this because I read it on the news. I had nothing to do with that whatsoever. Lastly, here's a comment from 3DTM3. This person said, "Finally a show that I can fall asleep on and not get angry that I missed something." Oh, you know, that's funny. I recently said the same thing about a video your mom was in. Oh, got him! That one was actually pretty good. So let's move on to the news. Now before I start that, Dan1996DO asked this question on YouTube. He said, "If you spill the beans on the Dog Pound, what will you be talking about in Phone Dog Live?" Which is a good question. Phone Dog Live is our weekly podcast that we have on Ustream. And now in the Dog Pound, I'm going to be talking about news that happens throughout the week, so they're very similar shows. However, the Dog Pound is a very short, condensed show, whereas our podcast is an hour long. So while I may be talking about the same topics depending on what happens to be big news that week, I'll definitely be elaborating more on it during Phone Dog Live. I'll be able to talk more about it, share my thoughts, and then of course that also includes the open Q&A at the end of the show where you guys get to ask your mobile technology questions. So they are kind of different, but very good question. I just wanted to answer that. So let's get started with the news. So the big news last week was, of course, Mobile World Congress, or MWC. Tons of phones and tablets and all kinds of devices were announced, and we have plenty of hands-on videos and galleries and other coverage to keep you guys satisfied. For starters, Sony announced the Xperia P and the Xperia U, which joined the Xperia S that was announced at CES earlier this year. The Xperia P features a 4-inch QHD display with White Magic technology, a dual-core processor, an 8-megapixel camera, and Android 2.3. Aaron got some hands-on time with this phone as well as the Xperia U. You can also check out the hands-on video of the Xperia S, which was posted earlier this year during CES. Though all three of these phones will ship with Android 2.3, Sony says that Android 4.0 will be available in Q2 of this year, and I totally believe them because phone manufacturers are so good about getting out those updates. Next up are the HTC One S, V, and X. The One S, coming to T-Mobile this spring, features a 4.3-inch QHD Super AMOLED display, a 1.5 GHz dual-core Snapdragon S4 processor, an 8-megapixel camera that captures pictures in 0.7 seconds, beats audio, and Android 4.0 with Sense 4. This One S will support T-Mobile's 42 megabits per second HSPA Plus network. The One X packs a 4.7-inch Super LCD HD display, the same 8-megapixel camera from the One S, a quad-core Tegra 3 processor, and Android 4.0 with Sense 4. This phone will be coming to at&t, however, at&t's version will be relegated to a 1.5 GHz dual-core Snapdragon S4 processor. There are rumors, though, that T-Mobile will also be getting the One X, and the rumors say that this version will still have the quad-core processor from the international version. Check out all of our hands-on videos of these awesome phones. If you're a Nokia fan, then you might be interested in the 808 PureView. Actually, even if you're not a Nokia fan, you might still be interested in this phone since it packs a 41-megapixel camera. Other specs include a 4-inch display, a 1.3 GHz single-core processor, and Symbian Bell. So basically the only reason you'd be interested in this phone is because of the camera. More news from MWC. LG introduced the Optimus 4X HD, the Optimus 3D Max, and several other new devices. Check out Aaron's hands-on videos with these phones. The Optimus 4X HD, which is rumored to be coming to T-Mobile, packs a quad-core Tegra 3 processor, a 4.7-inch HD display, and Android 4.0 with LG's custom UI. Asus announced the Padfone, the 3-in-1 device that takes care of your phone and tablet needs with an optional keyboard dock. This device seems to be pretty awesome and well thought out, but Taylor Martin seems to be a little disappointed by it. Check out his article to find out why. For all you eager Android fans, word is spreading that the next version of the OS after Jelly Bean will be called Key Lime Pie. This hasn't been confirmed yet, but a quick Google search reveals that there aren't many other options for desserts that start with the letter K, unless Google wants to call it Kadalai Ma'avu Pai Sasam or Koa Simia Delight. However, I have a feeling that Key Lime Pie is the better option. If you are a Windows Phone fan, then you'll be happy to know that Microsoft is reportedly testing Windows Phone 8 with a dual-core Snapdragon S4 processor. Current versions of Windows Phone do not support dual-core processors. Sprint will reportedly be interested in a Windows Phone device that supports this chip. Unfortunately, you'll have to wait until later this year to see these phones, but at least they're coming. More updates on when we could see the Samsung Galaxy S3. We recently heard a rumor that it could be coming in April. However, Samsung took to Twitter to refute these rumors and said that it will not be coming in April, but that it will still come in the first half of the year. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say, dude, just release it already. And last but certainly not least, tomorrow is the big day for Apple fans. We got an invitation last week to an event where we will probably see the new iPad. The event has been examined, scrutinized, and every detail has been speculated on. We'll finally know the truth tomorrow. If you'd like a quick recap of what we know or what we think we know about the iPad 3, check out this little infographic I made for you guys. So that's the show. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a comment below on any of these topics or just a funny or random comment. One of them could be featured. All of the news articles that I talked about in this segment are in the description below the video. But I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.